You have heard it over and over again. It is the biggest fight in the history of women's boxing. Undefeated and undisputed female lightweight champion Katie Taylor will put it all on the line against the most decorated women's boxer of all time in Amanda Serrano. This is the fight that may forever change women's boxing. In a sport where the wage gap between men and women is inexplicably wide, Taylor and Serrano will reportedly be the first female boxers to each earn seven-figure fight purses. That is unheard of in women's boxing. But that could also be attributed to the fact that the fight recorded the second biggest pre-sale in the 140-year history of boxing at the legendary Madison Square Garden. It is just that big. Let's break it down. This is By the Numbers. Although Amanda Serrano has 24 more pro fights than Taylor, she is surprisingly 2 years younger at 33 years of age. Now you may think that Serrano has more wear and tear due to having more than twice as many fights as Taylor, but despite the gap in professional experience, Serrano's 182 career rounds are only 18 more than Taylor's 164 rounds, or about 36 total minutes. Why? Because Amanda Serrano is a prolific knockout artist. Women's boxing may be behind the times in terms of equality, as they fight a maximum of 10 2-minute rounds versus the men fighting for 12 3-minute rounds. But that hasn't prevented Serrano from posting an outstanding knockout-to-win percentage of 71.4%, with 30 of her 42 wins coming by way of stoppage. She's only 2 knockouts behind Christy Martin for the all-time knockouts leader in women's boxing, and 14 of her finishes happened in the first round. How good is that? Canelo Alvarez, widely recognized as the best pound-for-pound fighter on the planet, has a KO to win percentage of 68%. And the world's best heavyweight, Tyson Fury, is a hair behind Serrano with a 70.9% KO to win percentage. And she's accomplished all of this with a minute less per round. As for Taylor, she's not quite the finisher with a 30% KO to win percentage, but what she doesn't have in power, she has more than made up for in skill. Taylor's outstanding amateur career includes 5 consecutive gold medals at the Women's World Championships, 6 gold medals at the European Championships, and striking gold 5 times at the European Union Championships. But all of that pales in comparison to her gold medal at the 2012 Olympics. That success translated in the pro ranks, as Taylor is one of 10 fighters to hold all 4 major championships in the division, joining the likes of Canelo Alvarez, Alexander Usyk, Jermaine Taylor, Terrence Crawford, Josh Taylor, Clarissa Shields, Cecilia Braekhus, and Jessica McCaskill, who she actually defeated in 2017. And although Serrano has more pro fights, Taylor has faced better quality opposition. Taylor's opponents were a combined 309, 60, and 12, a winning percentage of 81.1% at the time she stepped in the ring with them. Serrano's opponents were a combined 549, 288, and 41, or a winning percentage of just 62.5%. As a matter of fact, Taylor has only once fought an opponent with more than 10 losses, and that was her pro debut. Serrano has faced 12 opponents with more than 10 losses. But Serrano has world titles in an absurdly impressive 7 different weight classes, ranging from 115 to 140 pounds. The only fighter in boxing history to have more is the legendary Manny Pacquiao with an unprecedented 8. But Serrano does have one thing that the Fighting Pride of Ireland doesn't: a loss. Serrano fell short with a decision loss to the then undefeated Frida Wahlberg back in April 2012, just 4 months before Taylor won Olympic gold. Since that loss, Serrano has won 28 fights in a row. Can Taylor hand Serrano her second loss, or will the real deal be the first person to put a blemish on the Irish woman's perfect record? This is a true 50-50 fight, where 2 of the best fighters in the history of women's boxing collide. The stakes are inexplicably high for Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, but they aren't just fighting for themselves. They are fighting for the future of women's boxing.